Hey guys, this video will help you with your distributive property assignment, the one that looks like this on Google Classroom. It'll also give you some free answers. So make sure you have this open as you follow along. It'll also help you solve the remaining questions all by yourself. You are allowed to use a calculator, notes, and scratch paper on this assignment. And if you forget the steps as you're working independently, I have them listed right here. And you can always refer back to this video or call or text my Google Voice phone number, email me, or stop into the Google Meets. So remember with distributive property, it's just multiplication. We're taking the numbers on the inside of the parentheses multiplied by the number or numbers on the outside of the parentheses. Okay. One thing that you do need to note is just like when we did our combining like terms, if there's a sign in front of the number, it goes with that number. So in this case, we have this negative in front of the 4. It is now a -4. On this one over here, we have a plus sign in front of the 7, so that means it's a +7. So just know that if there's a sign in front of the number, they go together. I'm a super visual person, and to this day, I still use these little arcs when I am doing distributive property, just because it makes it easier for me to make sure I didn't miss anything in my equation. So feel free to write this down on a piece of scratch paper and use that as like your way to make sure that you're doing all these steps. Speaking of the steps, our first step is to multiply each number one at a time, starting from left to right. So we're going to take this 2 times the x. We're also going to take this 2 times the -4. I've drawn my little arcs, and that's just a way for me to know what numbers I am multiplying. So now that I've drawn my arcs, I'm going to go ahead and multiply those through. 2 times x is just 2x. 2 times -4 is just -8. And my second step is simplifying by combining like terms. In this case, I don't have to simplify because I don't have any x's to combine and I don't have any regular numbers to combine. So for number 1, this is your final answer, 2x minus 8. All right, now we're going to go ahead and do the same thing for number 2. It's just going to have some different numbers. So we have 5x, and remember we have +7 because it has this little plus sign in front of the 7. We're taking both of those numbers times 3, the number on the outside of the parentheses. I'm going to go ahead and get started by just drawing my little arcs so I know what numbers I am multiplying together. And then I'm going to multiply those through. 3 times 5x is just 15x. 3 times +7 is just +21. And I can't combine any like terms because I have no x's and no regular numbers to combine together. So this is my final answer for number 2, 15x plus 21. All right, number 5 is going to be almost the exact same thing. It just has more numbers on the inside of the parentheses that you are multiplying with this 3. So I'm going to go ahead and draw my arcs on this one. So I'm going to have this 3 times 2x squared. I'm going to have 3 times -6x. Remember, there's a sign in front of this 6, so it is now a -6x. And 3 times this +2. Because there's a sign in front of that 2, it is a +2. All right, now that I have my arcs drawn, I'm going to go ahead and just multiply these numbers through. 3 times 2x squared is just 6x squared. 3 times -6x is -18x. 3 times +2 is +6. This is sad that the last one took me the longest to calculate. Sorry, my mind is in 1,000 different places. Okay, if I look at this, I can't combine this x squared with this plain Jane x. We could talk about why that is, but just know, like, to make it easy, that this x squared is like a whole different category than this x. Even though they both have x's, they're different categories. And then, of course, regular numbers are its own category too. So I can't combine or simplify this equation anymore. So this is my final answer. Number 5 is 6x squared minus 18x plus 6. And that was number 5 on your distributive property assignment. All right, you guys are really smart kids, and you might be like, we've only done questions that use just the step 1. We haven't done any of these step 2 questions, so I'm going to guess in the last portion we're going to do these step 2 questions. You are 1,000% correct. Question 7 and 8, or number 7 and 8 on your assignment, you're going to be doing step 1 and 2. Numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, 6, you're really only going to be doing step 1. So 7 and 8 will have you multiplying each number and then simplifying by combining like terms. And we're going to do 1 together to make sure that you guys feel comfortable with it. All right, holy moly. So I'm going to be taking the numbers inside the parentheses, multiply the numbers inside these parentheses. Yes, it's going to be a little messier, but the same thing that you did before. All right, this is where drawing those arcs might really, really help. So I'm going to be taking this x times 2x, this x times positive 5. That's a really messy arc. I'm going to go ahead and do it again. Not much better, but that's okay. All right. And then I'm also going to take this negative 1 times 2x, this negative 1 times positive 5. Okay. All right. So x times 2x is just 2x squared. I got to go to my next arc. X times positive 5 is plus 5x. Next arc, negative 1 times 2x is negative 2x. Negative 1 times positive 5, negative 5. All right, now let's see if we can combine any like terms. We have 2x squared, we have plus 5x, and we have negative 2x. Ooh, these are in the same category. They're just plain Jane x's. We can combine those together. So if I have 5x's and I take away 2x's, I would be left with 3x's. And now I'm just going to copy down the remaining parts of my equation. And I'm just going to cross these off because, I'm a visual person. And I feel like that helps me out. So I still have a negative 5 on this side, and I still have a 2x squared on this side. So your answer for number 7, now that we've simplified by combining like terms, is 2x squared plus 3x minus 5. And that was for number 7 on your distributive property assignment. Go ahead and give the remaining questions your best shot. Remember, you're allowed to use your calculator, scratch paper, or you can always call, text, email, or pop into a Google Meets with me. Good luck, guys.